Welcome once again, everybody, to Blockbuster Mentality. I'm your host, Ben. Got another great show for you, but first, make sure you're following us on iTunes. Subscribe to us on iTunes, rate and review us, give us that 5-star rating. It truly helps us out a lot. Takes 30 seconds. We'd really appreciate it. Follow us on Twitter at BlockbusterCast, Instagram at Blockbuster Mentality. That's where you get all the updates on the show, blockbustermentality.com. You can get updates. Have a very fun show today. We talk Noises Off with Josh Brener. And this is a movie I've never seen before, and so yeah, I watched it obviously before taping the show, and I'm glad I watched it. But yeah, it was great talking with Josh about it. He had a lot of theater knowledge. Got to know him a little bit. Cool guy, and here's our conversation.
Oh, go Niners.
Yeah, go Niners. It's too bad they didn't go to the Super Bowl, but you know.
I'm sorry about that.
Nah, it's all right. I wear a lot of sports shirts. I'm not necessarily, a diehard or anything. I don't know. This is just what I happen to be wearing right now. So, but it would have been nice to see him win. I'm a Lions fan, which is even worse. So.
Wow. Okay. Well, so are you rooting for Stafford then?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard to not root for the Bengals too, though. But yeah, I would love to see. Yeah. I would love to see Stafford get one. He deserved it better than Detroit. So yeah, it's yeah. But who's your team?
Oh, I grew up in Houston, so I'm an Oilers fan. But I guess by default, I'm a Texans fan, which is tough.
Yeah, you didn't move over to Tennessee with them when they left?
No, I did not. I absolutely did not.
That's a slap in the face, right? When a team leaves your city.
Never get over it. Never.
Oh, man. Yeah, Texans might do something someday. Who knows?
Maybe someday if the unbelievable mismanagement of the last decade has not irreparably damaged them.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, I would hope so, but yeah, I every year with the Lions, it's this is our year, and my whole life it's been a letdown. So Yeah,
well, Barry Sanders was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, exactly. We had that.
So you're from Detroit? Are you in Detroit now?
No, I'm in Tampa, Florida. So I'm actually I was rooting for the Bucks for a while. I'm just all over the place, dude. But yeah, originally from Detroit, and been in Tampa for about 15 years now. So
gotcha.
I figure I can root for the hometown team that's that I'm living in. All
right, fair enough.
But if they were to play the Lions, I'd go the Lions. So there you go. That's where my heart is. Next question. No. So Houston, you're from Houston. I know this is just how I kick things off. You're well, where are you from? I know it's boring, but you gotta break the ice somewhere.
It's important. It's that's character building. Growing up in Houston, Texas, and growing up in Detroit.
Exactly. I mean, that's those are rough towns, man. Rough towns. It's. Do you go back there at all? Or how long did you live there? I know you said you're born there. Where was it? Your whole adolescence?
It was indeed, yeah. Born and raised 0 to 18 in Houston, Texas, and my folks are still there. So, I get there every now and again.
Yeah.
I was just there a bunch. My mom was going through, just a spot of health stuff. So I was there for a little bit with her, and thank goodness she's doing all right.
That's good.
But got to spend some time in the glorious medical center of Houston, Texas, where they do fine work. But I can't recommend visiting.
It's if the services are nice, it's great, but you don't want to, have to go there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's funny. My son was just at the hospital for, he has autism, and he's nonverbal. And we were at the hospital, and they had because he fell off a slide at school. Everything was fine. He just hurt his shoulder a little bit. But they had great stuff for people with autism and stuff. Great wow, I can't think of the word. Stimulants, not stimulants. oh man, I'm totally blanking on the word. Sensory. There we go. That's the word.
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
sensory stuff, and it was
yeah.
like, man, this is great, and but it's like, but we're at the hospital, so it's like, but that
Right.
part is great. If you're going to be
Yeah.
at the hospital, might as well be, it's good that they, can accommodate. So, it's
Yeah. Well,
um
I hope he's feeling better. I'm sorry
yeah.
he had a slide incident.
Yes, he had a slide incident. Yeah, just like a sprained shoulder-ish kind of thing, bruised.
No,
But yeah,
no.
he's all good, and I'm glad your mom's doing okay now.
Yeah, thank goodness she seems to
Good.
be bouncing back. So
Yeah,
very relieved.
that's good. And then so I mean, for those who don't know, I mean, so grow up in Houston, and then I know, I'm sure you've never been talked about going to Harvard in an interview, but you went to Harvard, I know. But where did the like acting and stuff start? Where did that come in?
Uh, in Houston, I hurt my knee one little league season and followed my girlfriend into the school play, and the rest is history. Had an incredible teacher, mentor, director, too, actually. One of whom introduced me to the movie we're going to talk about, Noises Off.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so my wonderful teacher, Larry Doxlager, was responsible for all of this. As my mom always says, she can blame him for all of this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did the school play in sixth grade, and just became a theater nerd, obsessive,
Okay.
and was lucky to have these great teachers who kind of guided me along that.
Well, yeah, that definitely answers the question. I'm inevitably going to ask why you chose the film Noises Off. It's yeah, because I was going to ask, yeah, did he do theater? Like, what's the deal? I mean, so you did it when you were young. Did you do it like? Is that something you're still interested in? To get into, or are you
You
more
know,
of a stay with the comedy stuff?
If anyone wants to hire me to be in a play, I'm in. I've done, I did a ton of theater in college and high school, and totally love it. And have done a few plays out here in LA. But not as much as I think I would love to
Yeah.
if opportunities came out. I totally miss it. I think it's the best, and yeah, it was just a total like that theater kid growing up for sure.
Yeah. Is it have a little bit to do? I mean, obviously you have experience with TV and film now. Like, does it have anything to do with, how you have to do, multiple takes in movie and TV? Like, whereas when you're doing the play, it's just one shot, you got to get it. Like, do you like that about it, or do you like having another take? Like, oh, can I do that one more time? Like, what do you like?
It's such a great question, and I think probably if I'm like really analyzing myself, I'm just like the most desperate, needy attention whore, and there's something about a live audience, and like I don't know, getting a laugh is just the best thing in the world. And when you're on set and you get to hear the crew, kind of stifling a chuckle, that's obviously awesome. But
Yeah.
there's something about a crowd just being right there with you that is the most fun, and definitely difficult to replicate. I mean, except for the occasional, like, I've done a few episodes of multicam sitcoms over the year, and then you've got that live audience, which is so fun. But like you said, then you're still doing like multiple takes, and
Right.
like
Yeah.
the freshness wears off a little bit, and they're like, yeah, we've already heard that joke. Like, we're just kind of phoning it in, laugh what,
Right.
it's a slightly different beast, but uh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard to describe, and I
That.
don't know, like just that, just all of it. Like it makes me feel like a kid, like doing rehearsal and
Yeah.
doing vocal warm ups and stuff. That was the other thing. I was just loud. I was just an unbelievably loud kid, and I think I find myself like when doing film and TV having to like be like, oh wait, I gotta talk softer because I'm yelling at people and we're very
Yeah.
close to each other. And like
Right.
I have to remind myself how to do it.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Yeah, the exhilarating feeling you get. Yeah, with that crowd and everything. Do you ever try to like make your castmates break? Is that is that like a badge of honor when you're able to make someone break?
Oh, it's the best. I mean, if you can cause somebody to blow a take, it's definitely not good for the project, and it's definitely not good for. It's
Right.
not always good for your on-set relationships, but it does feel great.
I bet. Yeah, it's it's like it wasn't me. Like you're the one that, you're the one that broke. I just delivered my
Sorry,
line.
I'm just just I didn't mean to. Didn't mean to blow the take, but man, maybe if you could keep it together, that'd be great.
Yeah, exactly. Did so yeah, I mean obviously we're gonna get into the movie here. I just wanna maybe ask there was one thing I was gonna ask. I edit, by the way, so yeah, don't
Hey,
worry
that's
about
great.
my
Well, let
little
me ask you:
flaws here.
are you a theater person, a film person, a TV person? How did you come to doing the Blockbuster podcast?
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I'm not at all. I just am a big fan of movies. I had an interest, in the industry. I don't think necessarily acting wise, but like filmmaking and not necessarily writing. Like I could take something someone else wrote and maybe do something with. Like I always had that interest, still kind of have that interest. I've never actually pursued it. So I thought, let me just start just talking about the things I love about movies. And that's what
Sure.
kind of this, turned into. I've never really, I mean, I appreciate theater. I've been to a couple plays, but I haven't really delved too deep into it, but I do have an appreciation for it, especially the fact that these people who are on Broadway like do it night after night after night after
That's a
night. It's just
grind.
like, oh my
It is
goodness,
a
for
grind.
months, like how do you not to like keep it fresh? Like that's got to be like. I think you have to be a different type of person mentally,
Yeah.
to handle that.
Yeah. Truly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I'm not. Not in the film industry or anything, or have strived to be. I
But
don't.
what keeps you busy most days in Florida?
Obviously my kids.
Sure.
That'll do
Sure.
it. That'll do it. It's I'm here not by choice necessarily. I moved here with my parents when I was a teenager because I had nowhere else to go, obviously. And but then I met my wife here and had kids here. My parents are still here, and we have babysitters, and so I'm kind of kind of stuck here. So
Gotcha. Fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, I have 3 kids, so yeah, that'll keep
Say no more. Say
keep
no
you
more.
busy. How about you? You got any little ones?
We have little white dogs,
Ooh,
and that is our ability to take care of things.
are
It ends at little white dogs.
little white dogs? Are they Westies? Are they just mutts? Are they?
One is a mutt that could be confused for a Westie. Yes,
Yeah.
very very well done. And the other is a Havanese, which is kind of like a Maltese. She's a couple of real manly man dogs.
Ooh,
like
yeah. They'll
couple of real
they'll protect you at night.
11-pound manly man dogs. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, then no one will mess with you when you're walking down the street with those.
You got
those
it.
babies.
You hear something that high pitch, you run the other direction.
Now is real quick before we get into the movie, are you was comedy always your type of genre you wanted to go after, or was it just kind of like I'll just do whatever, but then you realize comedy's kind of my angle? Like how did that work out for you?
Yeah, I mean, I genuinely love both. I think for whatever reason, this particular face with this particular nose structure lends itself more to comedy than the other stuff. And I grew up just like obsessively watching episodes of Seinfeld on repeat and Simpsons and that kind of stuff, and definitely just loved. And then things like Monty Python and The State and just all those kind of like wonderful comedy things that kind of grew up on, and then became obsessed with Upright Citizens Brigade and wanted to be like all those guys. It's an improv theater for those who don't know, with classes and stuff like that, and that's how I met my wife Megan. was doing improv.
Right.
So yeah, I just I think I've always kind of gravitated, but I love doing the other stuff when the opportunities come up, but they tend to be a little further and fewer between.
Yeah, well, I mean that's yeah, it is could be a new challenge for you. You could get into that. That would be a fun, I'm sure, to change things up.
Totally.
Speaking of the state, I'm talking to Ben Garant or Ben Garant. I might be doing
Oh
Robert Ben
yeah.
from Reno 911 and all that.
Amazing. Oh, that's
Talking to him in a
great.
few days. So yeah, I'm
Oh,
looking
well,
for.
tell him I'm a huge, enormous fan.
Absolutely. I will relay the message, my friend.
Thank you.
But so yeah, I mean you had sent a list of movies over. First you said Noises Off, and then you're like, but if that's a little too weird, I think you said in the email or something, here's we could talk Lord of the Rings, Harry
My
Potter, the typical
my poor
stuff. But
my poor manager's assistant. I sent him she was like, I just need an answer. Please just give me a straight answer. And of course, I sent like 9 movies. I was like, they could choose this or any of this, and yeah. So I was like, the first thing that popped in my head was Noises Off because it's just like my go-to. It's like my go-to movie in my mind. Like if I'm like, why do I love movies? It's because of Noises Off and theater, like both. I just love both so much. And then directly after that is anything nerdy. I think
right.
I say, yeah, any Lord of the Rings, any Harry Potter, Hook, and then The Sandlot. Also anything baseball. So
Okay, you're a baseball guy, huh?
yeah, big
Yeah.
Houston Astros fan, which is very, very popular.
Yeah. Okay.
Everybody loves Houston Astros fans.
Everyone loves Houston Astros, and they love you know s- pointing out certain things that have come about in the last few
Careful.
years.
Yeah, it's part of the game. It's part of the game.
It is.
All
It
right.
is. It's part of.
Everybody does it. It's part of the game.
How do you think the Patriots won so much?
Thank you.
I don't have a dog in the fight, so I was happy when Verlander won. So
There you go.
you know,
Yeah. Little
so
Detroit represent. Sure. Yeah.
exactly. So there you go.
One of the most amazing things I've ever seen was going to a World Series game, the Stros Dodgers World Series, and watching. We were sitting right field line, and watching Verlander just warm up, just long toss warm up
Yeah.
in right field. I couldn't believe the way the ball moved. Like it's so hard to appreciate because you're like, oh, like you're watching on TV or like even live, you're like far enough away. But watching the ball just like come in on a line from long toss distance, you're like, oh, this is a different species of human being who can
Yeah.
throw the ball like that. It is incredible.
It's like, how can a specimen, like how is that humanly possible? Yeah.
How is just like I'm like, why is there no arc whatsoever? Like he's throwing from so far. If I was throwing the ball that far, it would be like a huge pop fly that would like double hop to get to the target, and it's like a rising fastball all the way across. It's just insane.
Yeah, well, and even to get it that fast, like it's not necessarily strength; it's like technique and just like the way
Yeah.
they're using your body weight to thrust the ball forward. It's just like how they're able to master that is just like, man, it's unbelievable. But yeah, that's awesome. You were able to see that up close. Was that in Houston or in LA?
That was in LA.
Yeah.
But let's see. Both my brothers and my dad all managed to make their way here. One of them lives here, one of them doesn't. And we all were just like, we gotta do this. My
Yeah.
dad got a plane ticket. We figured out. I mean, it's probably more than I've ever spent on any one thing besides an engagement ring. But
Yeah.
we're like, we have to do it. And it was, by the way, Astros lost that game, so it was kind of a bummer. But just seeing Verlander warm up was worth everything.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, it's incredible. I could do that if I wanted, but
Sure. Listen,
like,
I play in it. I play in a sad old guy baseball league here in LA, and
is it baseball or is it softball?
both. So we
Okay.
have a softball team, but we also have a hard pitch baseball league, and I am not good, but it is very fun.
Hey,
and but you learn you really start to respect how unbelievable those athletes are when you're like when you're trying to hit an off-speed pitch going like 60 miles an hour and you're like, oh man, that thing fucked me up.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I like if I haven't played like in a while or anything, or even like played catch in a while, I'm always like intimidated at first with the other guys who have played in a while. I'm like, oh my God, what if this ball hits my face? What if I miss it? Like I'm like scared, like I'm not gonna catch it. I'm a wuss.
Yeah, I live my life as that old Adam Sandler sketch, Right Field, where he's like, "Please don't hit it to me, don't hit it to me." That's my whole life. That's my whole life while we're playing.
Oh man, love it. But Noises Off fans are mad at us. But hey, we're having a conversation. People, relax.
So, should we talk about we can talk about damn Yankees, so we can hit the theater fans and the sports fans.
Exactly. So you were. So who was it that introduced you to this movie?
So this wonderful teacher and mentor of mine growing up, a gentleman by the name of Larry Dockslager, who is still teaching young impressionable minds film and theater. And he's, I think so many people who are in this world have that story of, having that teacher, that mentor that introduced them to all of this stuff and guided them and encouraged them and inspired them and taught them and taught them and taught them and taught them. And he's definitely that guy for me. And yeah, he introduced me, like I said, Marx Brothers and Monty Python and kind of all these things growing up. And this was Noises Off was like maybe our go-to. Like we would speak to each other in lines of Noises Off. That's like how we communicated, just quoting Noises Off. And then I got to see Noises Off on stage on Broadway. I don't know how many years ago.
I was gonna ask if I wasn't sure if like it's still played anywhere.
For sure. It was on Broadway. Gosh, I want to say 10, 15 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
And it was with Peter Gallagher and Patti LuPone, and it was so great. I think for a long time I kept one of the sardines. That one of the sardines fell off the stage, and I snagged it off the ground, and I kept it for years. I don't know if I still have it in a box somewhere. And then I did a production of it when I was in college. My freshman year of college, I did a production of Noises Off. I'm sure if I looked back and had to watch it horribly myself, but it was fun.
Who did you play?
I played Lloyd. I played the director, and I did truly what I can only assume would be an utterly embarrassing Michael Caine impression, and just like from memory, like did his accent badly and like did for no reason did a British accent and faked my way through a Michael Caine impression. But I hopefully no tape of that exists.
Now in the movie they do the actors are American but they do British accents. Did they do that in the play?
I think that was a creation to make it an American movie. I think so. It's a Michael Frayn play. I believe, I would assume the first productions were just Brits being Brits.
That's true. Yeah.
I think that was a slight modification so that Carol Burnett could be Carol Burnett and Christopher Reeve could be Christopher Reeve and all that.
Well, it's funny because this is actually one of the reasons I picked this too is because I had never seen it. This is my first watch for the show. So
so I should be interviewing you. What did you think? Did you
I know.
Or were you like, why did he pick this?
No, I was thrilled. Again, I love when people pick a movie I haven't seen just because it's like, all right, here's an excuse to finally watch it, and But yeah, I mean, I was not expecting it. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't watch a trailer or anything. Just read the synopsis, and I was thrilled. I mean, I thought it was so unique. Just the way it's done. Again, it's a play within a play, but in this case, it's obviously a play within a play within a movie.
Right.
But yeah, I found it just so. Like it's so fast paced, it like doesn't stop. It's just, and I love how it's structured, because it's they're just doing the first act when we first see it in the film, and he keeps stopping them, like, no, we got to do it like this, and then you're kind of learning the um everyone's different like little quirk they have, and I love how we're able to learn the characters in that way.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, structurally, this will get nerdy fast, but structurally it's so great because and some of the stuff, like, I haven't watched it in such a long time, even though I sort of remembered every word. I hadn't watched it, since being a grown up out here working in
Yeah.
in film and TV. And since then, I've done a lot of like comedy nerd stuff. Like I mentioned, UCB, Upright Citizens Brigade. The way they teach comedy, the basic structure of comedy at UCB is the Herald, which is basically a 3-part structure of scene work. So you do a first scene where you kind of introduce characters and introduce the world and the concepts. Then there's a second beat where you sort of heighten those characters in that situation and the humor. And then a third beat, which is sort of like everything, culminates, everything goes off the wall and all the threads touch. And then you have this satisfying comedic payoff. And Noises Off is completely that structure where you lay the groundwork in that first act, where we're seeing the rehearsal and what's going right and what's going wrong, who the characters are, what the relationships are. And then you go backstage and you have this incredible heightening where things are starting to go a little bit off the rails, and you're seeing all of those dynamics that were set up in the first act start to interplay, and you've got, jealousy, and you've got violence, and and then, every seed that's planted in Act 1, like the nosebleed when there's violence and the contact lens, everything pays off and is heightened more successfully in Act 2. And then you go to Act 3, and it's chaos, and you're just along for the ride of the complete and total chaos. And it's just like, it is so perfectly structured that way. And when you go to the play, it's a 3-act play. And one of the super fun things about it is, so Act 1, you're in front, you're as an audience looking at the front of the stage, and then literally during the intermission, they spin the stage all the way around.
Okay,
and you watch it happen, and now you're watching backstage. And then at the next intermission, they spin it around again, and you're watching the front of the stage. It's just like, I don't know. Maybe it's a little.
No, I was just gonna say it's like simple, but at the same time, it's very smart, and it's
exactly. I was gonna say the same. I was like, it might seem a little quaint now that we're all love our Marvel movies, but there is something so like absolutely perfect and precise. I'm a little bit OCD, and maybe I love it that way because it's just like there's something so sharp and clean and precise about the comedy. And sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You're the guest.
I'm just monologuing. Please say something.
I don't even know what I was gonna say now. But no, I mean, so like when you watch this and you see just like, even when they're doing things wrong, they're still acting and they still have to time it out perfectly. Like how appreciative are you, or like are you like watching like the are you analyzing the man, I'm totally blanking on my words today, the not the theory, but the
just like that craft, that kind of
the craft, like are you I mean, like I don't know, like how much you've had to do with like just timing like your cues and stuff, like, or like how hard is that? I mean, that's got to take lots of rehearsal first.
Oh my gosh, yeah, because it's almost like a ballet, where everything is so precisely timed. And maybe I'm glad you mentioned that, because that is one of my favorite things, like doing a play like Noises Off, or there's a Neil Simon play called Rumors that I did in high school too, and it's all about like, this door opens while this door slams. This door opens while that door slams. This person falls while that person like does a comedy, fall. Like all of that stuff. It is so carefully choreographed, and I wonder. It would be so interesting to know how they did it for film. Like, are they taking it in small pieces, or did they rehearse it as the whole thing and get that rhythm down and then just chop it up into pieces to shoot it? or was it, you know, choreograph this, shoot this, choreograph this, shoot this, choreograph this? I'd be so interested to know.
Yeah.
Because
No,
one thing that my teacher Larry always used to say about it is that and you know, we recently lost Peter Bogdanovich, which was very sad, but he
yeah.
directed this movie, and the camera, he really uses the camera like another character in the movie because of what he's looking at. Like he does this he does this great pan where he goes to the window when Selsden is supposed to come through the window, and Selsden misses his cue and he just keeps going and then comes back real fast at the window, and you're like, oh my god. And I'd never noticed this stuff before, but when you're backstage, there are mirrors everywhere, and he's putting characters in the mirrors reacting to things or doing side business, like with the axe or with the cactus, that you're like, you wouldn't even know what's going on because it's like secondary or tertiary to the action that's happening front and center. But when you watch it, it is so precise, and everything is just so specific.
Yeah, it just flows, you know, seamlessly. You know, it's just there's I wanted to, you know, I mean, it's probably on the internet somewhere, but yeah, I wonder what like the longest shot in this movie is, because I definitely noticed a lot of long takes.
Yeah,
where it wasn't, you know, they didn't cut the camera at all or anything. It was just, you know,
totally, but
playing out like a play, and it was like, okay, I love this, like, you know, because it can be jarring if it's not, you know.
Yeah, it's like I wonder if you could even get away with it in like today's cinema, because it is it is. But you're right, you would lose so much of it if you didn't have those takes that let you know, like, no, this music, this rhythm, this cacophony is all so precisely created. Like if you punched in and out of close-ups, you lose so much of it.
Now, in the film, I'm not sure if you remember, but like in the first act, you know, Michael Caine's character's in like the audience, essentially, and directing from there. Where is he in the play? Like, is he just kind of off stage and just keeps coming back on stage, or do you remember?
I believe he's just in the audience with you, and he's got, you know, the God mic, and you know, at a certain point just sort of either stands up or just, you know, from the hold it, you know. And yeah, you might be sitting right next to him, or, you know, and he'll move around and you know, then go up on the stage and then come down, and, you know, but yeah, he plays it right out there with you.
But yeah, it's great. Yeah, like we already said, how you learn about the characters. We learned that, you know, John Ritter and Carol Burnett. I'm going to be saying actors' names, not character names.
Fair enough.
You know, they're kind of a thing, and then you have Michael Caine, who's kind of a thing with Julie
everybody.
Haggerty. Yeah, exactly. Everybody. Yes, exactly. It's just like, man, this guy's a player. Okay. So you get that right away, and then, like you said, the Christopher Reeve with the nosebleeds. So you get you know, those little, like I said, quirks or details about each character. So that way, moving forward, we know, okay, this is going on here, and that's when it brings us to Act 2, when, you know, they're breaking up and it's causing friction, and he thinks he's, you know, because she left him for the other castmate, Christopher Reeve, I think, and yeah, that's when all hell breaks loose. Is that second act of the first act of the play. I think I read like the program even says like first act or something, like in all of in the play, like it just says first act 3 times or something, which is just, it's so meta. So meta. But yeah, I love that. Yeah, that you know, the behind this, the you know, backstage act, because that's when it's just like it's done so well that you remember, you know, essentially what's supposed to happen, you know, in this first act, because they went over it a bunch in the movie's first act.
Right.
So like you kind of know what's supposed to be happening in you know, on stage, but then all this other hijinks is playing out like a play, but, you know, backstage. And that's just another level of this story, I guess you could say, not just the film, but just the story. Is you got this group of characters who are playing characters, but what's happening in their own lives is playing out as a play, and it's brilliant like that. Like that's
they're at every moment there are so many layers going on,
right.
Because you've got as you said, the play, and then the play within the play, and then the relationships in the play, and then the relationships within the characters putting on the play, and,
right. Exactly.
And they're just all such skillful performers too that there's something. This is another thing I love about it so much, is that they're all playing a different version of a bumbling actor. Like, I think it is like such a great send up of actors and theater people, but they're all a little bit narcissistic in their own way. They're all a little bit shallow in their own way. They're all kind of idiots in their own way.
Yeah.
But it's all different. Like, I mean, John Ritter's character, that inability to finish a sentence is just so perfect. Like, you don't see that done that well. I think people attempt it, but that, like, Lloyd, I've worked with a lot of directors. Some of them were geniuses and some of them were bastards, but I've never worked with one so, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. But I mean, right? Yeah. We're all, and it's just a little, I can't do it. How
no, you did.
He does it in a way that is like, it is so real and genuine. And I mean, everybody is so, like, Nicolette Sheridan is so funny. Mary Lou Henner is so funny. It's an embarrassment of riches. It's all such great character work and so goofy and so funny.
What do you think about when they're, like every time, they're not in the play, when they're talking to each other, they're constantly calling each other like honey, darling, sweetheart. Is that like, do you think that's like a little like jab at actors a little bit, like being fake, sure. Like, just like, oh honey, oh darling, like
I think so. And it's definitely, I mean, I think I've always figured it was like very British, because a lot of it is like love and dear, Lloyd dear, Dottie love, but that utter pretense of we all really just adore each other. Like, it's such a Hollywood thing too, to be like, this person, love them so much, not gonna hire them, love them, like, huge fan, absolutely love them. Just this, like, we're all such nice people who are maybe nice.
Yeah, you can act nice. Thus the term actor.
Yeah, correct.
But I love too, when they're on the backstage part, the second act of the film, when Michael Caine brings the flowers, and then the guy constantly has to go back because he's trying to give them to Nicolette Sheridan, but Poppy thinks they're for her, and that you got that whole back and forth. It's just like, again, it's just it's like a whole nother play that's now going on behind that, and it's just so brilliantly done.
And so another, like, just, I don't know if it's 3, it might be more than 3, but a perfect de-heightening in that case, right? Where you've got the big bouquet of flowers that then shrinks into the shittier bouquet of flowers that then eventually becomes the cactus that ends up where it ends up. But it's just like, it's so tightly structured, and I just love that stuff. Like Neil Simon plays, obviously Michael Frayn plays, Tom Stoppard plays, where it's just this like this word play and this perfect setup, punch, rhythm, music. Right. I just love it. Love it.
Yeah. We mentioned him a little, but Brody from Indiana Jones is in this.
Yes, of course. Sells done.
Yep, Cell's done, and we learn he's a bit of a drunk. He's I love when they're trying to hide the bottle of whiskey from him in that second act. It's just all, and he can barely hear. He like keeps mishearing people, and like it's just
Well,
perfect.
there's that great line where Michael Caine is trying to they're talking past each other, and he's like, you're not on for another 5 pages. Why don't you go down and take a rest? He said, oh, no, sorry. It's later than that. You see where he's saying, maybe you could come on a bit earlier. And he says, well, I think maybe I ought to come on a bit earlier. And Michael Caine goes, oh, here, I know what to do. Why don't you come on a bit earlier? And then he says, I don't know if he's putting me on or if I'm putting him on.
Yeah, that definitely stood out to me. I was like, oh, wow, that's a great line. Like I don't know what's happening here. It's so I love it, man. And the oh man, mind is going blank tonight. Yeah, I mean, obviously Carol Burnett's great as Dottie.
So funny.
She's got that Cockney accent she's doing. Like,
no, I'm not in Spain. I'm in agony.
Oh my goodness, yeah, the whole sardine bit and just everything just culminating together is just so great. And then you got the when they get into the third act of the film again, it's Michael Caine says something about it. Oh, and then the show happened in Cleveland, like that was the infamous when everything just went to hell. And I'm for some reason I don't know if I missed it. She like comes in and she like can't walk. Like, what, is she drunk? Is that what it is? What, Dottie, she comes in and like her foot's like not working right.
Wait, because she's limping on, and then she gets caught in the
phone, like,
well, because wire. I think they say that somebody did something backstage and she slipped in the pile of sardines or
yeah. Oh yeah, because I think it starts with you see a pile of sardines there, and then I think it's they say she slipped at him.
I think she's like, she's tried to kill him now or something like that, like.
Well, and then this kind of shows, I mean, I probably might be making this up, but is this kind of a thing that can happen where if one thing goes wrong, then it's just kind of a domino effect because everyone's off cue and you can't really get it back. Like, go ahead.
Totally. You've got that great moment where Christopher Reeve keeps trying to come on and when he's like, I never saw it. I wasn't here. But he keeps on coming on at the wrong time and not knowing where to pick up. And then Nicolette Sheridan is so funny. She can't adjust. Like, everybody's trying to like make the best of it and figure out how to improvise their way through it and get back on track, and she just can't. She's just going to say her lines exactly how she memorized them, in the exact order she memorized them.
Yeah, she's not playing around them. She's just, nope, I'm just saying my lines. You can you can do what you will with them.
I love when John Ritter, the door handle's missing, and he's like, darling, I can't, you're just gonna, and then he goes through the closet, he goes, could you just come shin down, come over, climb through.
It's so great, but she won't, because that's not her. That's not her line. That's not her cue. Like, no, I'm supposed to go through this door. Like, why would I go through that door? That's not right.
That's such a brilliant thing too. You can imagine so vividly what's going on, even the things that you can't see at all points. Right in Act 2, you can imagine what's going on stage. Without ever seeing it, because you're seeing what's going on backstage. And in that moment, you know exactly what is happening backstage, even though you can't see Nicolette Sheridan. She's just like confused and like not engaging.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, it's so, I'm not, big theater guy or anything, but again,
well, now you are.
I am.
This is opening up your eyes to the world of theater.
Exactly. I feel like I'm an expert now, and I am ready for my first audition for King George V.
Or
King Henry V.
That Close classics.
Well, that's what I'm ready for. But we'll see. We'll see if I get it. Not sure if Tampa's putting on any big plays anytime soon.
I'm sure there is some high level, respectable community theater in your neighborhood. You just have to seek it out.
I know. I gotta put in work, but we'll see. I'll let you know how my career in theater goes.
Please, yes.
I'll keep you posted.
I'm invested.
We learned that Poppy's pregnant in all this. Is that in the play too? That she's pregnant?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah. I believe so. Yes.
So
it's been a while since I've seen the play, but I'm pretty sure that's in there. Yeah.
That's kind of solidifies that. All right, I guess I got to stay with her now. You know, she's preggers, so you know, gotta go with her. Which we found.
I think it's a solid relationship and
yes,
foundation on truth.
Go ahead.
Well, I just forgot what I was going to say.
It's okay. That's the theme of the night, you know?
Yeah.
That's the theme of the show, really. I'm pretending to you like, oh yeah, I'm just having an off night. But you know, it's just the way things go, you know? It's that's why we edit. But then, you know, sometimes I don't edit too. So I might keep this all in. I don't know.
This is the magic. It's not so much what's said as what's barely said in between what's said.
I couldn't have said it better myself. So thank you for that. But what do you think? Not that you know have to have an answer, but I mean the purpose of them only showing the first act of the play, like how come we don't see the second act or anything about the second act? Is it because we're just I don't know. What are your thoughts? Putting you on the spot.
I assume it is just a pure time real estate situation.
Yeah.
You know, you would have to set. I mean, you'd suddenly be doing it in rep over 3 days if you had to see multiple acts of a full play multiple times. So I think they're just giving you, laying that foundation in the most bare bones way possible. So you get enough information to know loosely what the play is, what that act is supposed to look like structurally.
Sure.
So that you can then, you know, just heighten and have fun and games in the next couple of acts. And the movie, I mean, you know, you might have surmised in the play, you don't have these sort of Michael Caine interstitials about, you know, coming to the theater, leaving the theater, talking, you know, this voiceover narration. You're just in the world of the theater, of the play, you know, in each act. So that was all sort of, I guess, to, you know, make it all a little more cohesive and give Michael Caine this sort of leading man story arc.
Sure.
But yeah, you don't get any of that in the you don't get one of my favorite lines, which is there something wrong? Is there something wrong with your seat, sir? It's facing the stage.
That's what's wrong with it. Yeah, that's a good one. Well, yeah, I mean, and also, you know, the whole second act, I think it also shows, you know, it's they can't even get their act together in the first act. Like the second act doesn't even matter. This is what's happening to them in the first act. Anything that's going to happen in the first act is either only going to get worse or maybe a little bit better in the second act. So it's like it's pointless to show in that regard too, because it's
and you do get. I guess in the movie you do get those little beats of what the end of Act 2 is, with the cops, you know, shining the lanterns on all of the, you know, couples in the midst. That is definitely not in the play. That is a contrivance of the movie, which I think does such a great job, because you then get the feel of the audience erupting in laughter and how it all pays off. I think that was such a great addition.
Because doesn't the play end on their just terrible their terrible act in the third act? I
believe so. Yeah. I don't think you get any kind of happy resolution like you do with the curtain call in the movie.
Yeah, but yeah, I was reading somewhere that Bogdanovich, he was, you know, the studio basically insisted on more substantial ending, kind of tying loose ends, so you just kind of had to, you know, abide by the studio,
right? Although I think done like very very effectively. I
Yeah.
think I think it ties it all together. It's not.
Yeah.
It feels a little like it was done after the fact, but I think it goes pretty well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, this is my first watch, and I didn't. I just thought, oh, cool. Yeah, that's how it ends. To me, it's not. Not really. I mean, it's about the story a little bit, but it's just seeing these characters, and it's just entertaining. You're on a ride, and just seeing, what can go wrong and right in show business, like of the actual product, not like the. Well, I guess, the outside lives are what's affecting the product. So I guess it does show that a little, but again, you're just on this ride of this just one production, and it's just so unique, for a movie, but also, yeah, I mean, it seems very unique for a play, I would assume too. I mean, it seems very meta. Is that yeah, it's I mean, I don't know if any other plays are like this. Again, I'm a new theater nerd, which you'll see my
welcome. Well, there
first...
I saw a show. It was another London-based show that made it to New York called "The Play That Goes Wrong," which is very much a similar concept. Just this kind of like farce romp where everything that can go wrong in a theater production does, and you just kind of watch all these physical gags and utter silliness. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I thought it was so funny. I don't remember it having like the same level of relationships that this one does, that like really kind of pull through this, the behind the scenes, jockeying. But it's great. If you ever get a chance to see it, it's very much like this, and a super fun one.
Yeah. Are you into just these kind of plays, or do you like musicals too, or?
Definitely started in musicals that I have been made fun of many a time for my devotion to musical theater. I apologize for nothing. I love it. I've been mourning the loss of Stephen Sondheim for the last few weeks here, and listening to all of his shows, which I know most of the words, if not all the words, to over and over again. So.
Well, that's another one. Yeah, I just watched. Not just watched, but I watched the Tick Tick Boom, and then
I haven't seen
which
that
I know
yet.
that wasn't his play, but he was a mentor or whatever to Jonathan Larson. Is that his name?
Yep, Jonathan Larson.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that. Does Sondheim make an appearance in Tick Tick Boom?
Yeah, sorry, spoilers.
No, that's okay.
It's not really a spoiler, I don't think, but yeah, he makes an appearance.
Oh, great. Okay,
not him.
Right,
Bradley Whitford plays him.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
I like that.
He does fantastic, and but yeah, I mean that was a good one. And then I learned he did what's the one with it was like in the 70s. Well, first of all, I learned he did Sweeney Todd, which is insane. Like, you got that in your theaterography. Is that what you call or filmography?
I like it.
And what's the one called when it's Adam Driver sang it in Marriage Story, sang one of the songs. Room? No, not Room. Company.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
there
Company.
You go. Yep.
That I've watched. I've listened to the soundtrack of and stuff, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I can fuck with this.
If you want, this is like deep, weird theater nerdery, but
please.
There is a documentary of the making of that original cast recording of Company. And I can't remember what it's called. It might be called Company, but that might be wrong. Anyways,
look it up right now. That way, it's in my history and documentary Company. Boom. All right,
and you get to watch all these kind of legendary performers like Elaine Stritch and Sondheim is there, kind of like giving direction. They're chain smoking cigarettes as they sing the recording. And oh man, it is such a fascinating window into that world.
I'm definitely got to check that out. It's called Original Cast Album Company. That's what it's
There you
called.
go.
Original
Yeah.
Cast Album Company. Boom.
It is it's so great and like so very 70s and
Yeah.
and if you ever get a chance to see it, it's a great show too.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out. And I saw I think um again, no words, Blockbuster mentality. He was on How You Met Your Mother.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Doogie Howser. Yes, Neil Patrick Harris. Yes, he did like a rendition of or a rendition. He was in a
He
company
did
play too,
Assassin. Well, he did Assassins too. He was the balladeer in Assassins, I believe, years ago, which is maybe my favorite. Assassins is just a Sondheim musical about all of the assassins in American history, and it is cool and weird and great.
I'm gonna be going down the Sondheim rabbit hole now.
Yes,
so
I like to hear. I this is definitely the first film and TV podcast that I've come on and talked exclusively about theater, so I apologize. But
no, I love it. It's great. Yeah, I love that just the world of storytelling art, not necessarily
there you go,
movies, but TV, animation, which is TV too, and films and theater and
theater. Yeah, animation is very much theater. Totally.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man. Any final thoughts on Noises Off?
No, I don't think so. I just like. I don't know. It made me feel like it was very nostalgic. I hadn't seen it probably since I was in high school or something like that, and just brought back all my theater nerd memories. And shout out to Larry Doxlager. Thanks, Larry.
There you go. Yeah, no, yeah. I'm so glad. Again, I love when someone picks a movie I've never seen. That way, I have an excuse to watch it. And my wife likes it too because she gets to oh yeah, I'll watch it too. And boom, it's a two birds one stone kind of thing. So
well, I hope it was a pleasant first viewing and not like a what the hell first viewing.
No, it was very pleasant. It again, I love these. I like musicals and stuff too. It's just I just never actually go to plays and watch theater and all that. But yeah, I mean it was pleasant. Don't worry about that.
Good.
Are you? Is there anything you're working on that you wanted to talk about?
That's a good question. Speaking of animation, some animation stuff coming up soon. I think there's a Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie coming to Netflix, and I voice Donatello on that iteration of the Turtles. And
who are the other Turtles?
Who are the other actors playing the Turtles?
Yes, the actors. I know who the other Turtles are.
Okay,
actors. Yeah.
So Omar Benson Miller plays Raph. Brandon Michael Smith plays Michelangelo, and Ben Schwartz plays who does that leave? Leo.
Leo. Yeah. Nice.
And Kat Graham is our April O'Neil. And the amazing Eric Bauza is many things, including our Splinter. So yeah, check it out. And then another animated series called The Mighty Ones is a DreamWorks animated series on a couple of things, maybe Hulu and Peacock, I think is where you can check that one out.
Very cool. How does I'll let you go in a second here. Sorry.
Sure.
How does doing voice acting compare to on-screen acting for you?
It's much easier because
I bet
because the days are shorter. Yeah, no matter your script is in front of you, no memorization. You can wear whatever the heck you want, no makeup, no hair. I love doing it. It's just pure fun, and I love animation. I'm a fan of so much of the stuff I've gotten to do, Turtles and Star Wars and things that I am a total nerd for anyway, and getting to getting to do them in my PJs is
Yeah, that's
and
that's great. Yeah. I see, you did a voice in the Star Wars Resistance, the Clone
yep,
Wars. That's awesome, man. You're a
yeah.
part of Star Wars now, bro.
Technically in the galaxy, which is
Yep.
which is an honor, of course, a huge
Canon. You're
honor.
canon, bro.
That's right. That's right.
Great stuff, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming on and indulging me and giving me knowledge on the theater arts. I really appreciate it. It's been a blast talking with you, my man.
Oh, it was super fun. Thanks for having me. My best to your son in his slide recovery, and I look forward to seeing you starring in Merrily We Roll Along soon.
Well, there you have it, folks. Josh Brener. That was a great conversation. Really enjoyed speaking with him. It was a lot of fun. Cool guy, down to earth, and yeah, total blast. Hope you enjoyed it as well. Again, follow us on Instagram at Blockbuster Mentality, Twitter at BlockbusterCast. BlockbusterMentality.com, all that stuff. Got some more guests coming up. Reno 911 cast. We got, who else we got? I know we got some. Harlan Williams, comedian Harlan Williams is coming up. Workaholics. I'm not going to say who, but someone from Workaholics again. But yeah, definitely stay tuned for more episodes. All right, folks. Well, that is it for me. For Josh, I'm Ben. And as always, grab some popcorn, grab some snacks. We'll catch you guys at the movies.